Hi, everyone. This was such a good question that came up in my public Facebook group that I decided to do a quick video about it to show why you need to use long tail keywords on Etsy or anywhere in order to be found in search at all sometimes. It's not just to be found at the first page, just at all. So the question was that this person in the group went to Etsy and searched for mockups, couldn't find any member shops at all in the first 20 pages. And the reason for that is that Etsy has a total of 250 pages of search results for any given search. And I'm going to type 250 in here to the URL. That will take us to page 250 of the search results. But after that, it's done. All right, so they only show 250 pages. On each page, there's about 40 listings. And that, depends on the ads and that kind of thing, but it's about 40. So you have a total of 10,000 listings that could theoretically show up on Etsy for any given search. It doesn't matter how many listings there are on Etsy, you can only see about 10,000. So here we see we have 432,762 results. Of those, and those are all the listings on Etsy that fit this search, which is mockups, which is very general. This is a short tail search, it's very general. There's 432,762, but Etsy only shows 10,000 of them. So that means that 422,762 listings are not even being shown at all for this search, full stop. All right, so just because you have a listing on Etsy, it doesn't mean that you're going to show up for that listing because they only show 10,000. It's always been that way, all right? So mockups is a very general search term. So let's look at mockups for mugs. It's the same thing, 22,818. So that means that there's 12,818 listings that are not showing up at all. So your listing might not show up. And that's just how it is. So that's why I say you need to have more listings on Etsy because it gives you a better chance of showing up somewhere. Now, out of that 10,000, you also have to understand that only 1,000 are ranked. So 1,000 are given criteria to be shown to people. And you might not even show up, past page 20 if you even are included in that 10,000. So let's go to mockup for t-shirts. It's the same thing, 142,542 results, which means that, it's 143. So 133,542 listings are not being shown. Yours is probably one of them. And it's the same for my shop. The things that I have, a lot of them probably don't show up in search at all. But if you use a long tail keyword, that's going to be a little bit better. Now, I also did mockup bundle just to see, because people think, oh, that's a lot more specific, but we still have 78,423 results. So 68,423 listings are not being shown. Now, if you get long tail keywords, they are more specific, they are more direct, and they say more of what you're actually looking for as opposed to just mockups, which could be anything, right? It could be for any product. So if you do mockups for mug sellers, now you only have 1,100 results basically. So pretty much every listing that has the keywords mockups for mug sellers is actually being included in this search and ranked because this is close to 1,000 and there's plenty of extra listings in that 10,000 range. And that means they probably only have about 50 pages of search results for this. 50? It's more than that. What's 40 divided by this? So 25, is it 25 pages? Oh my God, I can't do math on my head on the fly. Let's see. Let's go to see. I think it's probably about 25 pages because so it's 24 pages of search results. Okay, so there's only 24 pages here because there's far fewer listings coming up for mockups for mug sellers. Mockups for t-shirt, father and daughter, there's only 623 results. Now, the point is that when people are searching for something specific that they need to buy something specific, this is how they search. And when I do the keyword lists for my digital shop, these are the kinds of keywords that come up all the time. They're not searched specifically in that order as often, but they're searched more in general because when people want to buy something specific, that's the kind of thing they type in. And they might type in father and daughter t-shirt mockups. They might type in mockup for dad and daughter. There's different ways that you can type this in, but the end result is that every single listing that has these words in it and is that intention is going to show up here because there's only 623 results and they're all being ranked because Etsy ranks the first 1,000. All right. The next one, mock-up of mug on a table. That's more specific. If you're just looking for mock-ups for mugs, that could be a mock-up of someone holding it or whatever. But if you're looking for that, you're only going to get 1,400 results. So if you have these words in your listing on a table, then Etsy can find it, put it in this listing, and you're probably going to be found a lot easier because there's only 1,400 competing results. The last one is mock-up for mug sellers. And that one only has the, oh, is this the same one I did? Yes, I did this one already. I must have duplicated it. But anyway, you get the point, right? Because this is a lot easier to be found. And if you understand how long tail keywords work, this is not going to get good search volume and engagement when you look it up in a tool. It doesn't matter what keyword tool you use. Because, like I said, people could do mug mock-up for Etsy sellers. They could do mock-ups of mugs for Etsy shops. There's a lot of different ways you can describe this and put that in your listing. But the more specific you are in the listing description, the more ways that Etsy will be able to find you. And it doesn't have to be this exact word order. As soon as the competition drops, the word order matters less. And it doesn't matter that much on Etsy at this point to begin with, but you do want to have a good variety. So if you have questions, post them. I hope that that was instructive, and I hope that you understand what I'm talking about. And if you buy my keyword lists, you'll see what I'm talking about because there's so many ways that people can phrase things that means the same thing in search and brings you this kind of a result when people are actually searching on Etsy. All right, so leave me any questions, give this video a thumbs up, and I will talk to you later.